From the Mount Pinatubo eruption that darkened the sky for an entire nation, and the Mount Tambora explosion that stole the sun from the entire world, to the Anak Krakatau collapse that swallowed a live concert with zero warning, here are the 7 volcanic disasters that changed history. May 8, 1902. 7:52 in the morning, Mount Pelée exploded and sent a pyroclastic flow directly into the city. A wall of burning gas and rock traveling at 100 meters per second, the entire city vanished in under 2 minutes. Every building collapsed. Every ship capsized. A city of 30,000 reduced to ash and silence before 8 in the morning. The volcano had been warning for weeks. A lahar already killed 30 workers at a nearby factory. The governor saw all of it and blocked the roads anyway. 30,000 dead in minutes. November 13th, 1985. The radio had told them to stay calm just hours before. 50 kilometers away, a volcano was already erupting. Millions of gallons of water mixed with ash and rock began moving silently down the mountain toward Armero. For 2 hours it traveled, growing heavier, moving faster. Buried people in their beds. Entire streets disappeared in minutes. That gray wasteland was a town just hours before. Those rooftops barely visible above the surface had families sleeping inside them. 85% of Armero swallowed in one night. Geologists had been warning about this volcano since 1984. Hazard maps clearly marked Armero in the direct danger zone. On the day of the eruption, an evacuation was recommended at 3 p.m. Officials delayed. The mayor said he saw no danger. Minutes later, the mud hit. The mayor was killed with everyone else. 24,000 people killed in a single night. 200,000 left homeless. May 20th, 1919. Just past midnight. Most people were asleep. Mount Kelud exploded with a force heard hundreds of kilometers away. The crater at the summit had been holding millions of liters of water for years. When pressure finally broke, it all came rushing down at once, mixing with burning ash and rock. That dark wave is not a flood. It is lahar. Hot, heavy, and unstoppable, swallowing houses in seconds. Families ran in the dark in every direction. Many ran straight into the current without knowing it was there. The crater lake had been building for decades. The danger was understood. The Dutch colonial government did nothing. No monitoring, no drainage plan, no warning system, no evacuation routes. The local population had raised concerns for years. Historians ask whether the colonial government ever truly considered these Javanese villages worth protecting. 5,160 people killed in one night. 104 villages destroyed. 9,000 homes gone. June 15th, 1991. It had been silent for 600 years. At 1:42 p.m. Pinatubo exploded with everything it had been holding for 6 centuries. The ash column shot 34 kilometers into the sky, 3 times higher than passenger planes fly. The sky turned black within minutes. Then Typhoon Yunya arrived at the exact same moment, mixing rain with ash and collapsing rooftops across entire towns. Watch that cloud keep growing, spreading wider, swallowing the sky. The air itself felt like it was burning. Warning signs had been building for months. Right next to Pinatubo sat one of the largest American military bases in the world. When scientists warned of a major eruption, officials pushed to downplay the threat. Evacuating the base was expensive and disruptive. Over 350 killed directly. Thousands more from disease and mudflows after. 200,000 left homeless. Pinatubo pumped 20 million tons of sulfur dioxide into the atmosphere, circling the entire Earth in 22 days and cooling the planet by half a degree Celsius for 2 full years. Farmers tending sheep, clean air, blue sky. Then the ground split open, not one crater. A crack tore across the landscape for 25 kilometers, like the Earth itself was being ripped apart. Fire fountains exploded hundreds of meters high. Lava poured in every direction, and for 8 months, Laki did not stop. Hydrofluoric acid and sulfur dioxide filled the air. Livestock died within weeks. Grass turned poisonous. Rivers ran thick with ash. Those craters stretching across the landscape are what 8 months of continuous eruption carved into an entire country. The lava fields still scar Iceland over 240 years later. The Icelandic people were left largely to survive on their own. But the story does not end in Iceland. The toxic fog drifted across Europe. Crops failed in France. The winter that followed was one of the coldest in recorded history. Bread became unaffordable. People starved. A volcano in Iceland helped trigger one of the most violent uprisings in human history. 10,000 Icelanders dead. Nearly 1 in 4 people on the entire island. Linked deaths across Europe, Egypt, and India. April 10th, 1815. Ash had been falling for days. The air smelled like poison. The locals had seen bad eruptions before. They had never seen anything like this. 3 massive columns of fire exploded simultaneously from the summit. Not 1, 3. The entire peak collapsed inward, sending pyroclastic flows in every direction. Everything in their path was gone within minutes. The explosion was heard 2,600 kilometers away. People in Sumatra grabbed weapons thinking they were under military attack. It was not cannons. It was a mountain destroying itself. That hole nearly 7 kilometers wide is what remains after Tambora blew its own top off. Everything you see missing was solid mountain just hours before. Total darkness fell across 600 kilometers in every direction. Not cloudy, not stormy, complete blackness. For 2 to 3 days, the sun did not exist. The Dutch colonial government controlled this region. Local populations had been reporting increased volcanic activity for years. Their village was not found until 2004, buried under ash like a tropical Pompeii, nearly 2 centuries later. 10,000 buried alive in the first hours. 1816 became the year without a summer. Snow fell in America in June. Crops froze across Germany. A cholera outbreak linked to Tambora killed at least 1 million across Asia and Africa. December 22nd, 2018. Families on beaches, children near the water. A famous band called 17 performing a live concert right on the shoreline. Nobody watching the ocean. No earthquake. Then screaming. A wall of black water came out of the darkness. On beaches across both sides of the strait, the same wave arrived simultaneously. Hotels flooded. Families buried under debris. Everything within reach of the water was gone before anyone understood what was happening. The concert stage in that wreckage was full of people just moments before. A portion of Anak Krakatau's flank collapsed directly into the ocean. The underwater landslide triggered the tsunami instantly. Indonesia had a warning buoy system built specifically for this kind of event. Every single buoy in the Sunda Strait was non-operational that night. Not one was working. Equipment damaged. Maintenance neglected. Funding reportedly cut. Scientists had been raising concerns about the volcano's instability for months. Their warnings sat in government reports on desks. The beaches were packed. No warnings were issued. 437 killed. Thousands injured. 40,000 displaced overnight. The band 17 lost 4 members on that stage. Anak Krakatau is still there, still growing. 7 disasters, 7 moments when nature gave no warning and took everything in seconds. If you made it this far, drop a comment below with the disaster that shocked you the most. And if you want to see more stories like these, subscribe to our channel. We make top natural disaster videos.